So basically the idea is our most immediate concern for the year 2023-2024 is the preparation of the topic on the one hand and the unidad didáctica, situación de aprendizaje. Vamos a ponerle la barra, unidad didáctica, situación de aprendizaje, on the other. Now, in order to complete that, up until now, we have been having 4 sessions every month. But since it's only a topic and a unit of work, for us, we believe that it's sufficient for our side of the preparation to do just 2 sessions per month, which would mean basically your preparation of a situación de aprendizaje and the learning and practice and exams as far as topics are concerned, including making adaptations to the topic to make them more personalized, make them your own. And in addition to that, we would have practices of oral defense. And as I said, examination, but the examination would be like every 2 months. Of course, these would be negotiated. If people wanted to change things around a little bit, we could absolutely open a dialogue about that. So that would be our main idea, the most important one. Now, there is some degree of uncertainty as to what's going to happen after 2024. In other words, what's going to happen in 2025? There has been a great deal of speculation, and Jose Luis actually mentioned that a little bit earlier in his talk, in his introduction and presentation, saying that it's true that for many years they've been saying, well, things are going to change, and that uncertainty has been there. The uncertainty, however, now is starting to take off a little bit because we already have un borrador de temario. We have ideas about how the future oposiciones are going to be, but much of that's going to depend right now on the change of government, if there is a change in government, if there's continuity in the government, what they decide to do. So it's possible that 2023 is the last year that we have this type of oposición with your caso práctico, temario, programación, unidad didáctica. There could be a different type of temario or whatever. So there's a bit of uncertainty there. So our nucleus, our main nucleus is preparing for 2024, which is your topic and your situación de aprendizaje. But maybe it's possible that there are people who are interested in saying, well, that's not enough for me. I want to keep practicing. Maybe I want to improve my English, etc. And I want to do like casos prácticos, and I want to do una programación entera in case in the year 2025, we've got the final edition, let's call it, of Oposiciones. I want to have a foot up on that ladder and get myself ready for that. So those are basically 2 options that could be offered. I would love to get some of your feedback and to see what you're particularly interested in. Maybe if you can give me a quick show of hands, how many people, for example, are interested in preparing 2024 only? I don't know if you know, there's a little raise your hand. Okay. How many people are interested in 2025 only? All right. How many people don't know? I have no idea. Don't know what to do. Opening the chat just in case. Right. Okay. Right, Rosa. So 1 person. I'm going to show you again on the screen basically what the plan would be for next year. Let's say, looks like not now. I'm going to window. Let's see. I think it would be this one. Right, so hopefully I'm sharing, yeah? Can you just give me a thumbs up with that or something? Can you say, yes, we can see that, great. So basically we've got these two modalidades. You've got modalidad A, which would be preparation exclusively for 2024, which would be 2 sessions per month. We would have 2 hours in the quarter, then a break, and then another 2 hours in the quarter. I imagine, because the majority of the Oposiciones students this year will be from primary education, there will be quite a few from secondary as well. But I imagine that would be on Friday evenings. That would be, we'll have to confirm that. And we would be preparing a learning situation, the different parts of the learning situation, not just because learning situation is what's 5 pages. And you can say, well, I can do that on the weekend. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, absolutely. But the question is, how do we do our oral defense of that learning situation in front of a panel? And we have to know exactly inside out why we've done each and every single thing. So there would be an exhaustive preparation of a learning situation, and you would get feedback on that. Then we would have our, it says entrega mensual de temas. Yeah. So we would basically be doing between 2 and 3 topics. Well, no, it would be more than that. Per week, let's see, per month, if there's 69 topics, well, you can imagine you're going to be talking about between 7, 8 topics or whatever per month. We generally speaking, we would update these with current legislation, etc. For example, this year, we're working with Instrucción Conjunta 1-2022, and for eso, and Instrucción 13-2022 for Bachillerato. Obviously, those will have changed by next year. And we'll have a more definitive. We've got our Real Decreto right now, but we're looking for the regional legislation, which would be introducing to those topics for next year. Then we would have practices of oral defense, as I mentioned earlier, and an examination every 2 months, unless you said, no, we want one every month. Okay, well, we could discuss that, but initially it would be every 2 months. And then for those who feel that maybe they need, there are a couple of different categories here. People who think that they need a little bit of extra help. Maybe they want a little bit extra practice with their oral presentations, their written expression, etc. Or they want to prepare the Oposiciones for 2025. You want to go for the 2024 examination, but you also want to have, let's say, a backup plan for 2025. And you're ready to study topics, and instead of just unidad didáctica, to do toda una programación con sus 12 a 15 unidades didácticas. Now, as I've mentioned before, there's no guarantee that in 2025, that is going to be the format of the examination. There's no guarantee of that. Could it be? Maybe, maybe not. There are a lot of things that we need to find out. Particularly, the first thing we need to find out is who's in government in July. That's number one. And as soon as we know that, then maybe the educational administrations are going to let us know what's going to be happening. Generally speaking, we would find this out around January, right? What way the air is blowing towards Oposiciones 2025. So that's why we've got a little asterisk here in this PDF, which says, si hay interés suficiente y sabiendo que puede haber modificaciones dependiendo de cambios de la normativa. So this would basically be, you would have your 2 sessions of modalidad A plus another 2 sessions of modalidad B. These 2 sessions would be online only, okay? And here we'd be preparing the programación and actividades prácticas. Generally speaking, there would be casos prácticos, which are similar to what we've been doing over the last, or what has been in Oposiciones over the last 2 decades, basically. And that will be it, in addition to other ways to try and improve your academic professional skills in the use of English in writing and in spoken forms, specifically for Oposiciones. So that would basically be the general idea for Oposiciones for next year. Modalidad A, you could call that the big whopper or whatever, and modalidad B, double whopper, where you've got your 4 sessions per month. So with that said, I don't really have very much more to add apart from maybe some additional questions that you might have either in the chat or if you want to open your microphone, I'd be very happy to take the questions that you have. You just shoot away. Feel free. Don't be shy. Is there anybody here who hasn't been at the Globe before and is not sure what way the format is? Okay, Fran, you got a question. Go for it. Shoot. Oh, you have. You've got your hand up because you said yes, right? So does anybody have any questions, comments, observations? It's just I've not been before. Ah, okay, right. Okay, well, if you don't have any more questions, then we can leave it. I will say that I'll be available through Agada or whatever for any further consultations if needed. I'll be very happy to take your questions, and that's it. This game of Oposiciones is it's a hard slog. There aren't any guarantees of a pass, but then again, some people say you've got to get lucky, you know? Yeah, you've got to get lucky, but you can increase your chances, your likelihood of luck whenever you get that extra support. And I think that this is one of the ways that you can do it. So I would love to see you in class, and I hope to hear from you at some time in the future. I'm going to stick around. Maybe somebody's got an additional question that they want to ask in private or through private chat, and I can take that for you. Okay. Have a good afternoon, and we'll be in touch. Take it easy. Bye now.
Stephen, can you hear me?
I absolutely can. Yep.
Oh, hi. I was
Hi
wondering
there.
how do we actually sign up in the academy?
That's a very good question. You see, that's why we need questions. I don't really actually do with that part. All I deal with is the classes. Agada is normally the person who's in charge of all of this area of secondary education, etc. But generally speaking, what you do is you phone up to the academy and you let them know. However, having said that, I have to speak to Agada to tell her about these dos modalidades, because what modalidad would you be interested in, A or B? A or B?
I guess both. B also.
Both. Okay. When did you finish your master's?
In 2021.
Okay, so it was fairly recent. All right. It's normal. I think it's more normal if you're an interino. If you've been to Oposiciones classes before, if you've gone for the Oposiciones examination in the past, you're probably better off with modalidad A. If that isn't the case and you feel you need extra, especially if you feel you need extra practice with your English for Oposiciones, you would probably be more inclined to go towards modalidad B. Remembering that we would be still working on the temario, las situaciones de aprendizaje, but we would now be moving into the terrain of programación and casos prácticos. Not knowing if we're actually going to have those in the examination in 2025. That's why we're looking at legislation every day, every month, every week to see what possible changes there might be, keeping our eye on the news, etc. For the last number of years, it's been the same format. This year, for 2023, it's been the same format as in the past. 2024, it's a special format because they have the Junta and the Ministerio. It's been required of them from Europe to reduce the number of temporary teachers. So they've got this type of oposición, especially 2024, to anybody can go for that examination. But you can see that the baremo is sort of biased towards people with experience, etc. So the 2025 examination, we would expect it to be a fully blown oposiciones examination rather than one that is geared more towards interinos. That is what we would expect. But expectations are one thing and reality could be something different. However, if you say, well, I'm interested in covering my back and doing this, well, you know, that would be great. Here on the PDF, it says comienzo por confirmar, right? Because the other one, modalidad A, would begin in October and finish in May. Modalidad B, por confirmar. That's going to really depend on the level of interest, how many people are interested in doing this. Also, it would be good to see what happens in July to have some idea of what way the wind might be blowing. But está por confirmar. And that's one of the reasons I need to talk to Águeda. But once you te inscribes en una de las modalidades, if you have to change and you have to open it up to another one, then they can very quickly do that. The question is getting in there, because there will be limited numbers. That is another thing. There will be limited numbers. I'm going to be working on just on my own this year, so there's only a certain amount of people that I can take on. Okay, but thanks for the question, Fran. Anybody else got a burning question? Sorry, Fran, go ahead. You got another one.
Yes, and when can we actually sign up, like phone?
I know that there's someone who's already signed up, so you can do it from now.
Okay.
Yeah. If you just talk to administración, as soon as you, I can't tell you exactly how many people there are in class, Paula, because some people will be online and some people will actually be in the classroom. But generally speaking, in the classroom, in the physical classroom, I would imagine there would be a maximum of 30, I imagine, okay. There will be other people online, but I'm not sure exactly how many right at this moment. But I would expect, you know, it's not the same. For example, we've been doing when it's the normal oposiciones examination, there would be a greater demand for the classes. This year, I'm not sure exactly what way it's going to go with this special examination that they've got for 2024. Okay, for example, last year in 2022, right? Since there wasn't an examination for oposiciones, the number was lower. So it generally speaking, it peaks whenever you've got a big oposiciones examination. Okay. I don't know if there are any other things that I've sort of missed. Yeah. Well, if you haven't been here at the Globe before, you should know that with this team set up, in addition to having your classes and being able to access materials and things like that, you've also got access to the chat, where you can send me private messages whenever you've got a question or a doubt or something that you're not sure about. And generally speaking, they get answered within not 24 hours, not 12 hours, unless like you sent me a message at 3 o'clock in the morning, which you shouldn't do. But generally speaking, in a couple of hours, you're answered. Okay. Thanks very much for your interest and for your questions. I'm going to stick around. I'm going to turn off the camera, but I'm going to be around if anybody's got any other questions, okay? I have no idea, Paula. That's a very good question. I have absolutely no idea. That's something that I don't deal with, the price. There's Jose Luis. Hello there, Jose Luis. How are you doing? You haven't got your microphone on? Can you hear us, Jose Luis?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello there.
Sorry. I just finished the primary session, and it was a nice one. How's it going?
Great. We're just taking a couple of questions. We're basically finished and taking a couple of questions. Paula had a question about could we inform her about the price, and I've just told her I have no idea.
Yeah.
What I did explain to them was this possibility of modalidad A and modalidad B, but that's something that we need to discuss with Águeda, so that she's aware of these two modalidades. Fran asked me how do you sign up, and just by phoning the academy and saying that you want to go into one of these modalidades, they'll take a note and of your preferences, and then we could they can let you know exactly what the prices are then.
Okay, I can tell Águeda that Paula needs information about the payment, about the money, and who was asking about the Juan Carlos, about the Fran. So how to register? Am I right? Okay, so I'm gonna take care now of the music session. Just to say hello to all of you. Okay, yeah, I have to take care of those. Okay, bye. Take care. I'm leaving the session.
Okay, Jose Luis.
Bye.
Have a good one. So, basically, as Jose Luis was saying, all you need to do is phone the academy. The academy have a central number, and then from the central number, they assign you to the person who's in charge of Oposiciones, and they'll sign you up, okay, and give you any other information that you might need. I don't know if I've forgotten anything else. No, you've got online, let's say, support whenever you have questions, doubts, or whatever. Plus, another thing that you have is that I didn't mention is weekly feedback. This Teams platform has a very nice place where you can upload work, and you get feedback, well, generally speaking, within a couple of days. Okay, so depending on what you're focusing on, generally speaking, it would be, for example, aspects of your learning situation, changes that you might want to make in the topics in order to make them more original, etc. Then if you're in modalidad B, there would be practical cases. In this case, there would be 2 practical cases per month that you could do and upload and get some feedback on that. It's also a place where you upload written examinations. And there are other dimensions to this platform that we can also use, which we have used in the past, which is uploading short videos. Sometimes, you know, it's a bit difficult to sort of perform in front of classmates, etc. And we like to rehearse and things like that. Well, you can upload very short videos and, you know, get some feedback there as well. Okay. So I hope I've covered everything. But again, I'm going to stick around for a minute or two just in case anybody else has got questions. Again, have a great evening. See you later.